Hello, everybody. It's Misty, your guardian nurse. Thank you for joining me today, or if you're watching the recording, thank you for taking the time. I am working on putting together a new series of high performance leadership, quick tips, 30-minute relevant lunch and learns. So today, I would like to introduce command your focus, energy, and time. Just a few practical tips and ideas to consider. So let's get started here. I'm going to share. Go. Okay, looks like we're good to go. And again, what I do is I'm board certified as a holistic nurse and health and wellness nurse coach. So I really specialize in dealing with stress, weight loss, reducing the amount of medications needed, and reversing burnout through lifestyle habits and processes we can put into place to manage our energy and our stress as we go through our day-to-day activities. Right. Excuse me here, it's not cooperating. Oh, there we go. Sorry about that. So my practice is based on three key assumptions, which are the body has innate healing capabilities, and chronic diseases are driven by lifestyle, and lifestyle interventions are way more effective than medications in the long run. Lifestyle interventions are also less expensive and less time consuming in the long run than having to go to the doctor, take prescription medications, right? Have procedures, have labs, all that goes with not taking care of certain areas of our lives. But today's topic matters because time management is really mortality management, right? So if you really value your life, you must choose how you use your attention, your energy, and your time and your hours, or just reacting or reactivity will choose for you and it will cost you. It'll impact your health and your relationships. So, in other words, if you don't manage your time and if you don't make your health and wellness a priority, disease or illness is going to force you to make time or eventually. And it's our habits and our behaviors that prevent us from feeling tired, right? From feeling fatigued and burnt out. And over time, this is what translates into physical illness. So that's the connection. So first we make our habits, and then our habits make us. So we want to protect three anchors: our morning mindset. We want to block time for deep work and an hourly energy reset. So we're focusing on three ideas. You become more high performing by protecting your focus and managing your energy on purpose and aiming your hours at what actually moves the needle. So the morning mindset means what that means is that's when we set our intention and our standards. And when we schedule time for deep work, it's a single block of deep work that we're spending on what truly matters. And it's important to include sort of a reset every hour. We should not be sitting for more than 1 hour at a time, and we will go over that more. So, sorry. So you control your time. The first anchor is protecting our mornings. And today I'm starting by focusing more on our morning routine because how you start your morning, that's what sets the tone for everything else that follows that day. And by starting your day with intention, you're setting yourself up for success. So let me just walk you through an idea that may or may not be new to you. And that is anything that needs to be thought of, created, or generated in the next 90 days. That's what the morning is for. I mean, of course, there are many reasons why this may not be possible or seem possible. But if you just start looking through the lens or the general idea of what I'm presenting, then you could just start to think of the things that are possible to change, right? So this isn't about perfection. This isn't black and white. Of course, we have children to care for or others that are only available for a project in the morning, right? We're just striving to set up our energy for the day. Like, for example, get our workouts in, right? To be more effective and strategic and overall be less busy. Yeah. So just stay with me. I'm not here to debate or argue. Just if what you're doing doesn't seem to be working well or you think there's room for improvement, we're just considering new ideas and practical tips that you could consider for yourself if it makes sense. So most people, when they wake up in the morning, what do, right? They immediately go to their phone. So they say 86% of smartphone users, the first thing they do is open up their phone and they check their messages. And then they may start browsing social media or email. So now that very important time of that day, the first few minutes, it has already been stolen away from them, right? So what we're doing is we're waking up and checking out of our lives and checking into other people's agendas. So as soon as we check into email, we are checking out of our intention, our agenda, right? Our direction, our will. So, oops, sorry. So before 11 a.m. So I'm not saying don't ever check your email or check social media. What I'm saying is not in the morning if you can help it. Not as the first thing, at least. It's really easy to decide to schedule appointments and people in the morning, right? Schedule calls, check social media. We're reacting and we're replying. And as soon as we wake up in those first couple hours, again, suddenly we've given our life over. There are people over, or they're in our mind or in our inbox, and we haven't taken the time to direct our day and get our what we call our needle moving projects and priorities out of the way. We haven't taken a moment, right, to ask, what are my goals and priorities today? What are the things I can do in these first couple hours that are upstream activities that lead to downstream positive results? And focus on those. This is really strategic because when we focus on upstream, this is the stuff that when we do it, then downstream positive results happen. But many people are starting their day by checking on downstream, the immediate, right now stuff, versus doing the things that will lead to the positive results later on. It's it's creating and pushing things out. For example, websites, your funnel, your partnerships, whatever that may be for you. So if you're waiting on a decision or a resource, you need to move forward. So of course, go ahead and search your inbox for that particular person. And then if you haven't received that response, you can push out a message, right? Hey, remember I need this. But don't get sucked into, or try not to get sucked into reacting right away. So, how effective have you been this week? I mean, at moving things forward, the things that get things done, that makes you happy and you feel like you're actually making progress in your life. So if you're in a leadership position or you're an entrepreneur, right? This is your job. You have to be a long-term thinker. So upstream strategy, as you push all those things out, those are the things that downstream attract clients, users, audiences, partners, sponsors, revenue, dollars, growth, all that stuff up front. So push that stuff out into the world and it attracts clients. So seeing clients is a downstream activity, right? That is it results from protecting this time for upstream activities. I don't like to see clients before 11 a.m. most days because that's when I'm doing the things that will attract them in the future. So anything that needs to be thought of, created, generated in the next 90 days, that's what, again, the morning time is. Of course, again, there are reasons it may not seem possible, but if you just start looking at this idea, then you can start to think of the things that are possible to change. We can move things. You can take a look and blow up your calendar. Take a look and check if you're doing a lot of things that are not moving the needle and start taking your time back. It doesn't mean that you achieve this right away or in the first week, but over time, you start seeing results and managing and protecting the schedule and get into a pretty good rhythm. And you realize you have more freedom than you think. So I get it, yeah, right? Many people say, you don't understand. Things need to move quickly in my industry. So, yes, that may be. But, of course, especially if you're supposed to be at your desk doing customer service at 8 a.m. in the morning, right? Or you need to be at the boss's whim. But in general, there often isn't um, a real reason to check email first thing in the morning. For example, if you check email at 11 o'clock, everybody has gotten a reply by noon. And this is especially relevant for entrepreneurs. They give away their life by 11 a.m. They haven't done the very things that drive revenue. They just jump right in, reacting to everything and everybody, right? Always falling behind because now all they're doing is reacting. So, takeaways on this portion of the presentation is pace, right? Pace yourself, plan, and prepare. This is necessary to avoid feeling overwhelmed and don't start the day reactive. Email first thing in the morning tanks clarity, right? It spikes overwhelm. Begin with Begin your day with a quick centering, outline your top priorities, and then create before you communicate, right? Create before you communicate. Block your first real work window for your most important outcome, not your inbox. Capture major projects you're working on and your priorities. And that's when it's a good time to write a daily to-do list of what you want to get done or need to get done that day. So you control your time. On to the second anchor, which is blocking time for key projects that will actually move you forward. Work in protected blocks and stop multitasking. So what that means is you're you're shutting off all notifications or distractions or minimizing distractions as much as possible. And you're going to focus on one thing at a time. High performance comes from single tasking the big work in, they say, 60 to 90-minute windows with your phone silenced and your notifications off. Distraction and multitasking reduce productivity and it slows down your thinking. Interruptions, if somebody interrupts you or a phone call interrupts you or an email, that can derail you for nearly an hour. And you bounce, to other tasks before returning to what you're working on. So block the first work block for your most important task and keep the communication apps closed until that block is finished. And it's important to define the outcome before you start. So that means ask, for example, what's the outcome I'm here to create in this block, and set that outcome up front. Clarity at the front end, that prevents us from getting sucked into busy work, right? And it keeps you from drifting when pings and requests and distractions do show up. Oh boy, discussion. So what I would like you to do is write tomorrow's first work block. So 50 minutes. Write that down somewhere. Name the single outcome you are going to work on in that 50 minutes. And place it somewhere that you will see it. Write it down and place it where you'll see it. Many successful people have reached their goals, not really because they're special, but because they scheduled the work and they guarded their focus every day. They protected it. So be aware of distractions. Most people have spent an hour on social media or news or something similar by 11 o'clock in the morning. 1 hour a day, that adds up to 30 hours a month, right? 30 hours of productive time gone. Bear with me one moment. I had a little trouble with my technology today, it looks like, but I'll get through this. So the third and last anchor is hourly energy resets. So what this means is every hour you're going to stand up, get out of your chair, get away from that laptop or screen. And this reset buys back hours of focus, and it prevents that wiped out feeling we get at the end of the workday, where you're mentally done and you feel really tired and you're not motivated to do anything. So let's talk about that just a little bit more. This is really important. We have an epidemic, at least here in the United States right now, and it's called metabolic syndrome, where it's a cluster of health challenges that happen when you are sedentary, meaning you sit for longer than an hour at a time. It's ruining our health. And they say now that this is just as damaging to us as smoking when it comes to our health, smoking cigarettes. So when we sit for long periods of time, there are actual metabolic changes that happen in our body. And it affects our mood, our sleep, our energy. And now, on top of this, it's all aggravated and made worse by chronic stress. And the hopeful thing is that this is actually something that is in our control. We have control over our habits. So that is why it's important to put in place a system so you're remembering to stand up at least every 60 minutes for 2 to 5 minutes. So this is non-negotiable, right? If you're going to prevent, so what metabolic syndrome looks like, what it looks like from the health perspective is insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and abdominal weight gain. It's the bad fat that's around surrounds our organs in our abdomen. So we get a belly that's really hard to get rid of, right? So now we're overweight. So install a renewal rhythm. Set a 50-minute timer, however that works for you. So when it chimes, or if you set it on you, or if you have um, a Fitbit or some type of technology that can buzz you every 50 to 60 minutes, stand up, breathe deeply, take a few deep breaths, and move for at least 2 minutes. And then set again a clear intention for the next segment. So these brief resets, again, buy back hours of focus, and it prevents that wiped out feeling later. And it's crucial to prevent or start to reverse even the problems associated with metabolic syndrome. Because what's going to happen, right? You're going to have to start medications and start to see lower productivity in the long run. The takeaways today: we want to guard our best hours, right, for our most important work. Checking email in the first 60 minutes can cut weekly productivity by roughly a third. That's what the research is showing. So today, what I'm asking you to do is take back that time, get that back. And remember, especially if you're an entrepreneur, your job is to create value, not be universally reachable by everybody. And I encourage you to take one or two um, scheduled windows of time to check your communications, check your social medias, check your emails, and then that way you're not just continuously living in the inbox, right? And to work in focus blocks. You want to guard your best hours for your most important work and push meetings, messaging, and admin times to secondary times. You'll feel more balanced and effective, not by working longer, right? But by working in sharper sessions with real breaks that will restore you. And so most leaders don't lack time. They're leaking it through being reactive and being available 24/7. Top performers, sorry, tend to work in focus blocks near 50 minutes, then reset, and this preserves momentum and it prevents cognitive fatigue from feeling mentally tired. So not longer hours, sharper sessions, and this is what will make your weeks feel more sane and successful. And the third takeaway: install a renewal rhythm. Lead with some deep breathing, release tension, and then reset your intention for the rest of the day moving forward. Stand up, drop your shoulders, do some deep breathing, and then state the next block's outcome and what you are going to generate for the day. So what is one change you can commit to testing for the next 7 days, no matter how small? Just the littlest change. Remember, having great energy and focus, it doesn't really happen by accident. You create it by setting clear intentions, protecting your work environment, and managing your energy. So take the time. I encourage you to do the work, right? Your best life is built on one intentional morning at a time. So let's go get it today. Another couple of questions just to consider. So, what are some of the things that you often do by 11 a.m. that are just not necessary, right? Meaning there's no reason to do them before 11 a.m. They're really not moving the needle. They're not effective. They're not even real obligations, right? You just tend to do them. Sometimes just realizing and reflecting can really make change possible. And the second question I have for you is, if nothing were holding you back, nothing for the next 30 days, how would you redesign your operating rhythm to feel calmer, to create more, and to lead better? Ask yourself that question. If nothing were holding you back, if there were no roadblocks or speed bumps for the next 30 days, how would you redesign your rhythm, your daily rhythm, to feel calmer, to be able to create more, and lead better? Only you can answer that. So thank you for watching or attending today. And feel free to reach out to me, Guardian Nurse Consulting, if you have any thoughts or ideas. I would love to hear them. Take care, everybody.